I'm doing this because I think it's the right thing to do to warn people.
Wait, Marilyn. You are doing this to warn people? Let's do a quick history lesson. Aaron Smith-Levin started a dubious foundation called the S.P.T.V Foundation, January 2024. One of the board members was Reese, who had a relationship with Tommy. Both of them are pretty shady characters and were called out by Discord, Reddit and a few YouTube creators pretty soon after, namely beginning of 2024. Most people kept quiet because Aaron Smith-Levin doesn't like to be called out for his lying or his offensive behaviour. In order to protect the dubious S.P.T.V Foundation, most people did not speak out about Reese. Marilyn Honig, a loyal defender of Aaron's foundation, likes to portray herself as a caring host to her audience, yet she gets caught in her web of lies more and more. Here's another example of her misleading her audience. While she says she is here to warn people of Reese and Tommy, she forgets that she kept quiet for months and months about Reese and Tommy to protect the S.P.T.V Foundation. Barb, also known as S.P.T.V Tattoo Warrior, spoke out at the end of January 2025 about Reese and mentioned she only did so then because Reese was on the board of the S.P.T.V Foundation before and Aaron asked Barb not to. Barb only spoke out after quitting as a mod for Aaron's channel.
First of all, Tommy and Reese know exactly why the fuck I'm speaking up now. They absolutely know, because we talked about it when we texted, and they didn't give a shit after all the time together that we had. So the reason I'm speaking out now is because before Aaron asked me not to, because Reese was on the board. And I said, okay, but then when I left his channel, that removed that. And then also Reese left the board. So there go the floodgates.
Marilyn then went full force against Reese and Tommy, and she probably did get the okay from Aaron to talk about it.
I would have spoken up sooner. Part of it had to do with Reese being on the board of the S.P.T.V Foundation, and part of it had to do with, Hef not wanting to throw shade at me because we share a lot of the same audience I do with Reese. But at the end of the day, Barb just broke it open, and I was like, you know what? That's it.
So Marilyn, you only spoke out after all of that. What about warning the community earlier? Because you shared the same audience. Instead of warning your audience of the troublesome behaviour, you decided to keep quiet and not say anything. You were afraid Aaron would be mad at you.
Now, a lot of these people who were being called fucking liars were also friends of Marilyn Honig. And Marilyn Honig is a very good friend of mine.
I'm doing this because I think it's the right thing to do to warn people.
Now, Marilyn never put me in the position that SPTV Tattoo Warrior put me in, which is having to be like, yo, you got to make a choice.
I'm doing this because I think it's the right thing to do to warn people.
Marilyn did the opposite. She came to me and she said, I sure hope you know that the only reason I'm not out here publicly defending my friends who are being called liars by Reese, friends who deserve my support, is because out of respect for you.
I'm doing this because I think it's the right thing to do to warn people.
And not trying to make your life complicated with your board and your foundation and these people. I'm like, well, I really fucking appreciate it.
But she had a right to speak her truth and she wasn't afraid. So if she's not afraid, why am I afraid?